I have a client who's the CFO of a company, and one of the most stressful things for her was to speak up to the owner of her company. You know, she felt very stressed out when he would get upset with something and would have a lot of demands, and she would get flustered and not know what to do, and it would stress her out, and it was hard for her to even think in the moment. And one of the things that we worked on together is for her to start to identify that, because she was focused on him a lot, what he was doing and what was going on. And one of the things we did was just focus on, well, how are you responding when he gets angry or does something? And she began to realize that how she chose to respond, focusing on what she has no control over what he does. So what she began to do is really look at, what can I do? What are my options of how to respond? So we role-played, we talked through what are some of those options she could do. And so one of the things she learned to do was just to breathe. A simple strategy was just to breathe. A second one for her was to actually realize, this is not about me. He's just angry, and I don't have to think it's about me. She actually began to replay mental tapes in her head, and that gave her a lot more choice and control. And over several months, about 2 months, she was able to be present to him when he was being upset and just listen to him, and then actually speak a very directive and just say, I'm not sure I agree in what was going on. And he calmed down like a pussycat, you know, and she said, he never used to act like that. And I said, well, that's a good example of how when you focus on what you have control over is how you respond to a situation, it looks like everybody around you changes. And so the truth of the matter was, she had a demand. That was her boss and his behavior. And she couldn't change the demand coming at her, but she could change her ability to respond to the demand by changing her thinking patterns, doing something as simple as, you know, calming down and breathing in the moment, and remembering she had a little tape going on in her head that said, this is, you know, this doesn't have to be about me. I just need to listen. So that's an example of how it happens. And the interesting thing now is she tells him what to do all the time, and he is so happy about it. You know, he can still get upset and angry, and she still has to practice the strategies, but she actually tells him now, it's like, you know, this is what you actually need to do, and he goes, okay. And that is never how she perceived her relationship. It really did transform not only her stress, but how successful she was at being able to offer the contribution she knew she had to offer.